Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and it's time for us to finish up Season 8 of WWE Supercard. As you can see here, Ring Domination has finished. There are no more team events for the time being. PvP is off, King of the Ring is off. You can still play Survivor for some reason, but that is it. And it is now time for us to pro our double Heroic Mandy Rose. Both of them are at level 100, both of them have their 100 matches, and for some reason we can't combine them. If we remove them all, there we go. That allows us to combine the two. And let's see what her stats become. So there we go, there is the double Heroic Mandy Rose. Let's just take a screenshot of that for the thumbnail. And I think we can level her up just a little bit. We'll use all 4 of these. Which brings her up to level 102, not exactly 105, but not so far off of it. And let's compare her stats with everyone else. You can see that she's already stronger than our Fortified 3 Arcane Becky Lynch, that is the vampire from the Halloween event, and there is her stats. So currently, she has 70 million across power, but 69 million across toughness, speed, and charisma. Of course, power and toughness being her strongest, and speed being her weakest, with the charisma being the third one in between there. So very, very cool to see. That is obviously our strongest female, but let's just take a quick look at in general as to where she stands. So there she is. She is our 3rd strongest card, with the Becky Lynch being our 4th strongest. So coming just under the Solo Sikoa and of course Braun Strowman, who is currently has oh my goodness, I realised I can't actually change that. Wow. He has the boost from PvP on him at the moment. So yes, that's why he is quite absolutely massive. But it's probably going to be around the 70 million arc, the same way that Soul Sikoa is right here. That's probably where we're going to be with Mandy Rose. But she is easily our strongest female. Of course, Becky Lynch coming in a very, very close second, which is lovely to see. So that is the end of Season 8. So I thought to round out Season 8, how about we take a look at all the cards from Season 8. So that would be from Meyer upwards, and let's take a look and just see everything that we've acquired through this season, starting from the very bottom. Well, we'll ignore all these things, will we? So we had the Maelstrom Seth freaking Rollins, which I believe was from the tickets, I think that was the Superstore, which is over here. I think that was one of the first ones from there. I don't think I got it at the time. I think I got that from a later event. So that is where that came from. Let's see, whereabouts are we? There we go. We have the Extreme Valhalla Brock Lesnar. This was the Valhalla. It wasn't an extreme event, but it was like a fusion event. I can't remember exactly what this was, but we do have a couple of those. Elnai Dragunov was part of this as well, the same event. Of course, there's the Elimination Chamber, Bianca Belair, of course, another one from the Superstore. We have the Roman Reigns with all the cash flowing behind him. This isn't the image that was for the Roman Reigns, but that was the image that I put on him. Makes him look a little bit better. We had the Beach, the SummerSlam ones. The reason I kept the Matt Riddle one is because he wears the flip-flops, and Matt Riddle actually wears flip-flops to the ring in real life. Then we had the NWO cards. I managed to get X-Pac, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Eric Bischoff. And I think there was a Kevin Nash one as well, which I didn't get. So the story was that these cards were supposed to be released with the 2K22 Deluxe Edition, and either they forgot or they just didn't. And instead they were released a little bit later on, but they were a tier below what was the main tier at the time, so that's why all mine are all level 0. We have the Thugonomics Carmella. That was from the event where you could get John Cena and you could get the other wrestlers dressing up as John Cena. We have the DX Triple H. I got him a bit late. We have the reissued Cody Rhodes, which was a reference to this one, like the Uncommon from back in season 1 or season 2. And of course, they re-released that Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes had just came back to the WWE. It was a huge big thing. We have the Ronin Liv Morgan, which is a very, very cool background that they gave her. We have some fusions. Asuka, AJ Styles, and AJ Styles. I'm not proing those AJ Styles because I'd rather use them for arcane fusions. We have another big old Roman Reigns, the big dog. This is the Royal Rumble 22 version with the Roman Reigns symbol in the background. We of course got the Machine Gun Kelly, which I think was also supposed to come out with 2K22, but instead they released it a little bit late. We had an event to get this guaranteed Machine Gun Kelly, and then the other one you had to get from PAX. But again, they were both a tier less than what they were supposed to be, making them not really usable. Here we just have some basic arcane cards before we get into the Meyer, the People's Champion, The Rock, which I think I did use this at the beginning of Season 8. At the beginning of Season 8 we had 3 Rock cards that you could get. You could get the Meyer one. This was the Maelstrom Rock, which was like the WWE logo. This one was like, you know, the more modern Rock. And of course you had the Valhalla one, which was Rocky Maivia. And I think that was the first time we had a proper Rocky Maivia as well, which looked very cool with big volcano in the background. Of course you had the Attitude Era, and then you had the modern People's Champion, The Rock. So very cool to see all of that. From the Arcane Fusions, I got the Stone Cold, but I never got a second Stone Cold, so I just decided to make the Sea Creature Stone Cold, and figured that was good enough. More wanted just for the image rather than for the actual card itself. We have the Extreme Valhalla King Woods, where he has the crown and the little crown in the background there. Very cool to see. We've of course got the remaster of the very first event Brock Lesnar card, which was him holding the WWE Championship, which is an amazing. It's still one of my most favourite images, that one. And I don't know why they don't do more images where the wrestlers are holding titles, because it's some of the best images that they've got. What else we have? We have the Day 1 Becky Lynch. Of course, from Day 1, from right at the start of the year. We have the Christmas R-Truth. We have the Yeti Drew McIntyre. The Beast Brock Lesnar. And shortly after this version of Brock Lesnar, we also got the other version where he is... Well, we also got this one where you got the Super Saiyan 2 Brock Lesnar. I believe this was from the Superstore. I think this was an event. We have the Sonya Deville, the Valentine's Day event. We already looked at Rocky Maivia. This was... I think... Yeah, this was the Double Heroic. This was one of the event cards. So this is what the Double Heroic looked like for Valhalla. There's the Double Heroic Roman Reigns, again also for Valhalla, and then the Double Heroic Finn Balor, also of course for Valhalla. And this one was the Valhalla Kevin Owens, which I can't remember what PvP event this was. I have a feeling it might have been Codebreaker, but don't hold me to that. Not entirely sure where this Kevin Owens came from. Then we went up to Royal Rumble 22. Of course, this was the strongest cards of the Valhalla range. Then we had the... this is the Valentine's Day Liv Morgan. And then we had the re-release of the Alexa Bliss, which I also have the original version of this. But this was the new, upgraded, sparkly version with the nicer, shinier artwork. You can actually see, if you go back to the previous artwork, that it's a lot darker, it's a lot more diluted, whereas the new one is significantly nicer. Then we had the Dancing Brock Lesnar, which was very, very cool, Royal Rumble 22. Very cool to see. I think this was the first animated one we had. the one where it's properly animated. And of course, because it is animated, we couldn't swap the image. I got him all the way up to Fortified 3, making him absolutely massive, as you can see there. Then we had the Royal Rumble 22 Becky Lynch, managed to get up to rank 1983 there. We've got the double Heroic Otis. I remember when this happened, everyone was like, why is it Otis? No one really knew. We had, of course, the Braun Breaker as well. I think that was, if not the first Braun Breaker, then it was the first of that tier, Royal Rumble 22. I think that was not long after he became the NXT champion. Then we got into the road to WrestleMania. There is the Bianca Belair special event version, which I think was a quest. I don't think it was Superstore. We've got the road to WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, which the second part of that was Triple H that we already saw down here. Of course, Triple H was WrestleMania 38 and Shawn Michaels was road to WrestleMania. So Triple H was actually the higher ranked one, but Shawn Michaels was the one that came first. But Shawn Michaels was the one that I was actually using. Triple H didn't get pro of, so that's why he was never used and why he was never leveled up. But I wanted to keep it for the artwork anyway. This is again part of that. I can't remember what it's called. So this is Fortified 3 Road to WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley with horses, but this was the same gimmick as the Royal Rumble and Dragunov and the Valhalla Chad Gable, and I have a feeling that Road to WrestleMania was the highest tier you could get of this. I'm not sure. We might see another one later on. Then we've got the double Heroic Ricochet, and I think that was the only double Heroic that you could get from Road to WrestleMania. Road to WrestleMania was a really, really short tier that was just kind of a midway point between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 38. Like, it was very, very strange. Because this was Royal Rumble as well, so I think this was the only event Road to WrestleMania card that I got. I can't remember if there was even a PvP event, but I think there was only the 2 events there. Next up we have the WrestleMania 38, the tag team of Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, which was very, very cool. Both of those were from the Superstore, and I had enough credits to get the 2 of them, which was very, very cool. Big, strong start to the WrestleMania 38 tier with that one. There we have Ezekiel, the beach version. I think I just kept it just because that was the best of the Ronin versions. Oh, right, okay. So WrestleMania 38 was the strongest one you could get because this one here is the same tier as the Rhea Ripley's. So there we are. So that was the highest tier one you could get, and there is our Dolph Ziggler. We got the Logan Paul, didn't get the pro of him, the Master of Heart Cold. We had this Rey Mysterio again, no pro of him, but we did get this Fortified 1 pro of Irwin R. Shyster, which is absolutely fantastic. I love the the movement here, the case and everything, and just like such a perfect and amazing card for him. Like the background is like so. Some backgrounds are just absolutely amazing. I mean, like ones like this, they're generic. It's obviously a Rey Mysterio thing, but this one is just so Irwin R. Shyster, and it's so strange for them to give love to, the tax man himself after all these years. Irwin R. Shyster is an amazing wrestler. He's the father of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. If you don't know who he is, you should look up some of his promos because they are amazing. There we have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, where he comes from the ground, which is always a very, very cool animation. It only does the animation once, which is, I think, oh my goodness, need to clear my throat there, which I think is unique because everyone else, the animation, just loops endlessly, but with him, it only does it right at the start, like that, which is very, very cool to see. Of course, that is WrestleMania 38, which is where the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes debuted after being in AEW. Then we have our first double heroic from WrestleMania 38, which was Ronda Rousey, followed by... Well, this wasn't the first one. I think that was the last one of WrestleMania 38, but this is the first one that we've came across while going through these cards. And then we had the double Heroic Undertaker, the double Heroic Austin Theory. Are you telling me that Austin Theory has higher stats than Undertaker? What on earth is going on there? And then we had the 562 Ezekiel. And that was the image that you could get from that event. Get ourselves up to level 500, our number 562, not to level 562. And then we also got to number 380 for the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, which is very, very cool artwork. I love the images of both of these, where he's wearing the white suit. It's very, very cool. Then we're into Ronin tier, where we've got the Hell in a Cell Kevin Owens, which is really well animated. I love that the cell is on fire. It's kind of dripping fire. Like you've got the whole flame down here as well. Like, this is like one of the best looking images of season 8, I think. Then we had the heroes, where you could get Stacey Keebler, the Hurricane, and Rosie, or the superhero in training, as he was known at the time. So we have those. Then we had the Phoenix kind of Asuka. I was never really sure what this was supposed to be or in reference to. It doesn't really have much animation. It's just kind of background that's kind of, doing this thing. Then we had the re-release of the... so the way to get this Undertaker the first time round was you had to play Royal Rumble and you had to pull him from playing Royal Rumble. And I remember, like, for... I think it was the entire weekend, or if not, like 3 days or 4 days, playing Royal Rumble, and I didn't pull a singular one of them. So when I saw the re-release of this, I went for it, and I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the coolest, like, in terms of just, like, the lava down here and the lava exploding in the background. Really, really awesome image for the dead man, the Undertaker. Of course, here is the Hurricane. I don't think I've got Rosie. I think I only got the two of these. But I mean, we might see Rosie later on. There is the Ronin version of Edge. I really wanted this one because I think this is the only image that we ever got of Judgment Day Edge. Where he's got the suit on, he's got the kind of slick back, shorter hair. So very cool to get that one. It's going to be quite unique because any future Edges we get aren't going to be Judgment Day Edge, of course. Then we had the double Heroic Alexa Bliss. We had the double Heroic Gunther. We had the double Heroic Butch, and I think that was us done with Ronin. And then we've got another... I'm not going to go through the common arcane cards, or the common pro SummerSlam BCEs. The only reason I still have these is because they're currently being used in decks. I think if we look at this, yeah, she's still being used in Codebreaker. That is the reason for that. So let's jump up a little bit into the Arcane Fusions. So we've got Bayley, Io Sky. I've actually got all four of them. Candice LeRae and Alexa Bliss. I've got all four female fusions, but not a single one of them is a pro. There's what a pro Arcane... no, not Arcane, it's SummerSlam BCE fusion looks like. Which is kind of cool. It's got the sand and, the obviously Egyptian themes, lighting going on in the background. There is our Clash at the Castle Bayley. That is where... Did Bayley make her return at Clash at the Castle? Or did she come back in the event before it? Can't honestly remember. Someone in the comments, you can let me know, because I have forgotten the storyline for Bayley. No, it was a bigger event than Clash at the Castle where Bayley came out with Io Sky and Dakota Kai, wasn't it? I remember it was during the match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. And then Bayley made a surprise re-debut with Damage Control. So let me know in the comments below. There we have our Logan Paul. Of course, SummerSlam. Yeah, maybe it was SummerSlam that Bayley came back at. So SummerSlam was all about the Music City, all very, very Jeff Jarrett style. And there is our Logan Paul with the pinball machine. Kind of cool. I think that was in the Superstore. And Bianca Belair, I think this was a quest that you had to do for this one. Also interesting to see that this one was higher ranked than this one. Oh, we also had the figures. I don't have many of them kept because the thing is you can't change the image, and if I go into the catalogue, I'd be able to look at them again that way anyway. This is a more recent one, the Arcane Raquel Rodriguez, which is supposed to be the Day of the Dead festival, which Raquel Rodriguez didn't get from the first ones. Of course, they were all from previous seasons, but this was the only one that was brought back this time. We got the Arcane Fishman Randy Orton. Of course, didn't get a second Randy Orton, so I couldn't make a pro of it, so just made Fishman instead. We had the SummerSlam BCE British Bulldog from SummerSlam 92. So I remember this when they did Clash at the Castle. There was a big promotion with SummerSlam 92, which was the last time that there was a... It was a huge event in the UK, but it was a stadium event in the UK. That there hadn't been a stadium event since SummerSlam 92, and the main event of that was the British Bulldog versus Bret Hart, which is considered one of the strongest SummerSlam matches in history. And that's why they were making a big fuss about it when they were doing Clash at the Castle, which was coming back to the UK, which was the first stadium pay-per-view. So then I think we're into a couple of double heroics. So we've got the double heroic Alea from SummerSlam BCE. This was the SummerSlam BCE John Cena again, with the title. This image didn't come with the title, but I really like the images that have the title. So 1562, as you can see, it's a little bit stronger than the double heroic female, but of course weaker than the double heroic Stone Cold Steve Austin and the double heroic Drew McIntyre. So the double heroic SummerSlam BCEs has these big spikes going up the sides here. They've got the pyramid in the centre, and they've got the, almost like a sort of god towering over the pyramid, with all the big sunlight behind them and everything. And then we had the Pat McAfee, which we got all the way up to number 590. I really want this Pat McAfee because I think this is still to the day the only Pat McAfee you can actually get so far. We've got more arcane cards that I'm not going to go through. We got the Vampire Braun Breaker Pro, instead forgetting what a vampire was. It does have the little glowing eyes down here. We've got little bats flying around in the moon, and the wings do move just a little bit, but there's not an awful lot else going on there. The werewolf Brock Lesnar, which got a fortified one. Of course, it's got the big wolf in the background that appears and disappears when the shadows come out from the moon. And of course, you've got the claw, which is active. I don't really like what they did with the faces. Like, the faces look a bit kind of silly. You can tell that, they weren't really planning for that. And then we're into the very, very last few. So this Triple H is, in my opinion, the card of Season 8. It is the coolest, most awesome card. I think it's up there with my most favourite cards in the game, like just in terms of artwork. Also, I am a huge fan of Triple H, always have been, ever since. So originally I didn't really like Triple H as a heel, but when he came back at the Royal Rumble with the Beautiful Day promo and everything, where he came back from the was it the torn hamstring, or was it an ACL? I can't remember what it was, but I know that it was the muscle in the leg that had ripped off, and he'd been told, I think he'd been told that he wouldn't be able to wrestle again, and he powered his way through it and came back. Won the Royal Rumble. I think went on to beat Chris Jericho for the Undisputed Championship at that year's WrestleMania, and from that point onwards, I was kind of hooked on Triple H, and I really started seeing Triple H for the amazing wrestler and storyteller that he was. I was relatively young at that point, of course, but since then, I've always loved Triple H's career. I mean, there's some points, where it's obvious that Triple H likes to bury people, as he's well known for doing, but he went through a hell of a lot in his career, like all this stuff with the curtain call and having to climb his way back up the ladder, and you know he was treated like crap. He was supposed to win that year's King of the Ring. Was that 96? Was it 95? Can't remember. But instead, I think it was given to Stone Cold. I think that's where Austin 316 came from, possibly. And then Triple H, barely got hold of the European title and the Intercontinental title and things, and it was years before he won the world title. But also he was kind of kept in Shawn Michaels' shadow. He was sort of like a bodyguard to him in the DX times until Shawn Michaels walked off after WrestleMania 14. And of course, Triple H had some amazing matches with Shawn Michaels on his return, which gave way to Shawn Michaels' second resurgence. Shawn Michaels and Triple H, two of my favourite wrestlers of all time. Taker's up there as well, so is big old Stone Cold. Really love a few of those old timers at this point. We have the Chicory image. I think they were doing a thing with season 2 of Chucky that was coming out on, I want to say Netflix, but it could very well be HBO, or it could be any of the other streaming services. But also Chucky has been in wrestling. He had a feud in WCW with Scott Steiner. It was either Scott Steiner or it was Rick Steiner. Let me know in the comments below which one it was. So rather hilarious to have Chucky in there. We got our 45-3 Arcane Pro Becky Lynch, and then we are into the last few heroics. We've got the double heroic of Mandy Rose from Arcane, we have the double heroic of Solo Sikoa, and we have the double heroic of Braun Strowman. And that is everything from Season 8. So, big long video. Really hope you all enjoyed looking through a whole bunch of these cards. Of course, there is infinitely more that we've got and that I've deleted for whatever reason. There's cool artworks like, Becky Lynch down here, and we've got we didn't see the Arcane or the SummerSlam BC Fusion Gunther. There is like some of the other figures that you can see. We had the pro of like Stunning Steve Austin as well. So yeah, loads of stuff. So Season 8 overall, I think it was a pretty cool season. Gave us a load of stuff, and I'm hoping that Season 9 is going to be just as cool. So we'll just need to wait and see what Season 9 looks like. And also this music that you hear in the background is the Season 8 music. So this is the last chance to listen to it. If you want to listen to it, of course, put on WWE Supercard and you can listen to it yourself. But I think it actually says Season 8 in it. So it's like Annihilate Season 8 or something like that. But yeah, well, I think that is about the end of this video. I think the next video that I will do will be the start of Season 9. I'm thinking about live streaming it. I think I may live stream the start of Season 9 just to take a look at it and let you all see it all at the same time. Although I imagine while I'm live streaming, you'll all be playing Season 9 yourselves, so I'm not sure if that's such a good idea, but I might do that just for the sake of it and see how many of you want to turn up and join me for the viewing of it. But with that said, folks, I think that is going to be the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, please give us a like, share, and subscribe. I have lost the ability to talk. If you are subscribed, click that notification icon so you can see when more of these videos go up. And we will see you all in Season 9. Goodbye, everybody.